I swear it's the broke guys that always want to be like, let me find out. What you mean find out? Find out what? How to make some money?
She let a broke guy hit. She let him hit, and now she's mad. No, they say sometimes you can only learn a lesson the hard way. And I'm pretty sure she's going through that right now.
Yesterday asked me if I think men are smarter than women. Wrong guy to ask. So I said yes. She goes, and we were in a group of people. She goes, why? And I said, buckle up, sweetheart. But I love being a dude because we're so dumb, we're so stupid that we have to simplify for it to make sense in our brain and become smart. But you girls are so smart that you overcomplicate shit. You overthink it, you dig yourself into a hole, and you become stupid. She goes, that doesn't make any sense. Give me an example. I couldn't say it, but her husband comes around from the side, RKO off the top rope, and goes, ladies and gentlemen, my wife. A simple answer from a man, overcomplicate.
I was walking by a bunch of bars and I heard these guys outside spilling tea to each other. This one guy was so giddy because he's in a new relationship or something. He's like, yeah, she's so cute. She's so pretty. And they're like, oh man, you're in love. You're in love. He's talking about how she has the best smile. And his friends were giggling. They were giggling like little girls. Did guys do this? They were like so happy for him. Like, well, she's not like Amanda at all. Who's Amanda? I want the tea. He's like, yeah, she showed up to my house with wine and a charcuterie board. Bro, actually value this girl for coming over with cheese and crackers?
Absolutely, men can get giddy over the right woman. And for sure, what you ladies don't understand, that a man's friends group are way more supportive than even women. Like, women get jealous, and men, that doesn't happen. Men will get motivated before getting jealous. And lastly, it is not about the cheese and crackers. It is about the effort. And if on top of that, she's attractive and she has a good personality, yeah, that man is going to be giddy.
What you're seeing here is what a lot of modern women run into. They have such a limited view of the range of a man's emotions. They have such a limited view of a man's humanity. And so they assume that men aren't happy to be husbands and fathers. They aren't happy to take on the mantle or the role that granddaddy and daddy used to play. That's my role now. I'm supposed to protect and provide. I'm supposed to step up and be the leader. They're happy to do that. What they're not happy about is modern women who continue to tell them they're not stepping into their role. They're not trying to step into their role. They're not doing a great job. They're trash at it. And they could do better. But then when you step back and put the modern women who have been saying this at the forefront, they're absolute garbage.
All right, this may be the best takedown of core feminist ideology I have ever seen. Check this out.
Can I ask you a question, Stephen? Would you take a 3-year career break? Would you be able to do that?
To solely raise children, I would not want to.
You would struggle. And the thing is that no one is judging Stephen for saying that. But if I said just couldn't do it, people would be like,
but men and women are different. Stephen could say other things which would have people's jaws on the floor. Like, I don't want to financially support my wife and child. I think people would be quite shocked by that. I mean, we just have different expectations from mothers and fathers.
It was a study that was done where fathers and mothers lay in bed together. When the baby cried, almost nearly every time the mother woke up in the middle of the night to the baby's cries and the father slept through it. When there was a rustling of leaves outside the window, the fathers woke up and the mother slept through it because of the predatorial threat.
All right, so you guys see the trick? She compares men's privileges to women's responsibility. That is the trick that works over and over again. And what these women did to counter that was they were comparing women's responsibilities with men's responsibilities. And then all of a sudden you see this magical reality emerge, which is we are actually a team. Men and women were designed to build families together, and we are very different. And comparing women's responsibilities with men's privileges is always going to stir up resentment. And resentment is the key to destroying the family and destroying marriages. And so the only way you can come out of resentment is to correctly understand that we need to compare, if we're going to compare, men's responsibilities with women's responsibilities and men's privileges with women's privileges. And we'll see that they are roughly equal and that we were designed to work together.
It's interesting to me that you guys object so much to me, like, thinking that, you know, makeup is sort of deceptive, and you're fighting me on it. But like, I'm sure most of you would be to some degree upset if a guy misrepresented his height, either through shoe lifts or he lied about it on a dating app. You show up to the date, turns out he's shorter than you. If he wore a toupee,
women are gonna wear makeup. That's for somebody.
Makeup is in its essence a lie.
Okay,
you guys can keep wearing it, but
we agree.
And we will.
We agree. You're right.
Just be intellectually honest.
You're right. No, seriously, you're right.
It's a lie. If makeup did not amplify or improve or increase your physical appearance in some way, why would you wear it?
It doesn't. So we're done.
Do men care about physical appearance?
Yes.
So you are putting on a facade.
I just really want to please men.
Let's look at reality. Makeup is a facade. And if you can't be intellectually honest about that, I don't know what to tell you, but it is quite literally a facade.
Okay, let's all say okay and agree to disagree then.
It's paint.
I can't agree with you saying, "Ooh, I look fine today. Let me post it for the world to see." Because what are you posting it for? To get that attention. It's as simple as that. There's no other reason to post. Now, I'm going to ask y'all this. If a dude tell y'all, you can post the same stuff you've been posting. Post whatever you want. But make your page private and delete all males off your page that's not family member. How would you feel about a dude saying that?
That's controlling.
So you would think he tripping?
Yes, that's controlling.
Trinity, you would think he tripping?
I would. I'm not gonna.
So
narcissistic.
Okay. They just said they posting for themselves. They doing it just because it look good. They just said it's not no unloyal aspect to this. But when we take males out of the equation, you the bad guy. But before you take them out of the equation, they just posting for themselves. It can't be for y'all selves, and it can't be just because you feel good, because I'm still saying, babe, post it. Baby, do your thing. Post whatever you want to post, however many times you want to post it. Let's just take the men that might pose a threat to our relationship or trying to get in between what we got going. Let's take them out the picture. Now I'm tripping. So don't they click in y'all head that, maybe I'm not just doing it just for me. Or maybe I'm not just doing it just because I feel good. Can we agree to that now?
I still can't agree.
We can't agree to that. Message.
And a lot of men don't even ask these questions because they already know the answers. They just don't talk to you. That's what it ends up being. They just don't talk to you. They don't approach because they already know what you're about. They already know that you're out here seeking validation. They already know that you want a man's attention. They already know that you're out here dating multiple guys and you're talking about having a roster and all that other nonsense. They already know that. And so they decide, I don't want to be around that. That's not for me.
Y'all, how angry do you think my husband's gonna be when he finds out that I need him to change the way he did this? So I just noticed that, you see the way these are spaced apart right here? Well, these are closer. I don't know why he bought this one that has the closer, I don't know, railing pieces, but I wanted it all to look like this. I don't know, he's done 5 so far. There's the rest of them down there. He can take those back, I guess, but I don't know how hard it is gonna be. Just take the screws out of there and replace it.
I think the part that husband is going to have the biggest problem with is actually hearing from her that he did it the wrong way. Because I'm telling you right now, I don't know anything about construction, but looking at where those bars are placed, it kind of looks like they would be placed closer together at the bottom in order to protect animals and probably small children from falling through. I don't know. You guys tell me if I'm way off base, but the fact is that she hasn't gone and talked to her husband about that. It's only about the look of it, and it's not about the actual use of it. Based on that, she has decided that it has been done wrong and is going to need to be fixed. I don't think he's going to like it.
When my boyfriend proposes to me, I do not want him to ask my dad for his permission. What I do want is for him to inform both my dad and my mom that he plans to propose and approximately when, out of respect. Nobody needs permission to ask me something. That's a decision for me to make. There's no asking. I am not an object.
Generation has girl bossed so hard that they have forgotten men come and ask your dad for your hand in marriage because it is your dad's job to love you, protect you, shield you. And when a man comes and asks for your hand in marriage, he's not asking for property ownership rights. He's saying, can I take over that really important job? Femininity needs to be protected. In order for that to happen, we have to encourage masculinity. But in a world that says, I don't need no man and girl bosses, that's never going to happen.
I wanted him to validate my feelings. I told him this over and over again, and he could not do it. And so we would have a conversation. I'd say my feelings. He'd shut down, and I'd be like, see, you always do this. And I would point out all the times that he didn't validate my feelings and how I needed him to change. And I would go on, and then he would just stay shut down. And I was so freaking upset about it. Yeah. Here's why. To me, I was showing him a mountain of evidence that I deserve to feel hurt and that he needs to change. To him, I was showing him a mountain of evidence that I thought he was not capable of loving me the way I wanted to be loved. And here's the simple solution that works, not just for this issue, but for every issue, including when he's upset with me. We pull it back. Let's just talk about this issue this time. And instead of showing you a mountain, I just say, hey, when you just responded by getting really quiet, it made me feel like you didn't care about my feelings, or maybe they were too much for you. Do you mind just reflecting what you heard me say? That's how we became the best at validating my emotions. Because instead of proving to him I deserved to feel hurt, I just told him how right there in this one-time one issue, how it made me feel. And one conversation at a time, we built a new mountain of evidence that he is capable of loving me the way I want to be loved. Whether it's planning dates or washing dishes or walking the dogs or changing diapers. I mean, the list goes on. It doesn't matter. Whatever the thing is, one time, one issue. I'm Morgan from Good Morgan Therapy. I'm a relationship coach determined to put the fun back into love. So if you like content like this, give me a follow.
Well, this is communication at its finest. Instead of you trying to assume that your partner thinks the worst of you, you're checking to see what your partner actually thinks. And I know that's rocket science for some people, but it's really basic communication. And to be fair, men and women do have a hard time with basic communication sometimes. And it sometimes just because of emotions, and you feel like, well, they should know and they should understand how I feel, and I don't want to talk to them because they hurt me and stuff like that. And somebody has to usually go in there and break the ice. But, you know, basic communication goes a long way.
I saw this post that said, if he wants you, he will not give another man an opportunity to come get you. Girl, if you want him, you're not going to give another man an opportunity to come get you because you locked in. We here. We go together. Like, you're not seeing anything else but this fine-ass king man.
So what do you think men did historically? Like, what do you think their jobs were? Like 1800s, what were your choices as a man to do as a job? Because, you know, you always talk about how women were held back historically. So I'm asking, like, what was life like back then?
Well, women had to stay home and men had to do all of the jobs because they didn't allow women to help them.
What were their jobs that they did? What were the most common methods of employment back then?
I mean, what do you mean? I mean, it's going to be construction, it's going to be medicine, it's going to be food production, it's going to be factories, it's going, like, the same thing that runs all of society.
So they had three choices: coal miner, farmer, factory worker.
Nothing else happened in society.
I'm not saying nothing else. That was the majority of how people were employed.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys have this like rewritten history where you guys think that men just had these glamorous, fun jobs, but men did the difficult job. Men know that they didn't enjoy their jobs. Do you think any guy is going to a coal mine and saying, wow, this is my passion?
And again, who set that system up?
It's not about who set it up. It's how would the system run without it? They need coal. At the time, they needed coal. Like the same way now, somebody has to build the buildings. Somebody has to get the food. Otherwise, society does not run.
Oh my
God, listen, I see you from afar, and I had to come over to say you are strikingly beautiful.
Well, thank you.
I mean, seriously, you look like you could be my future, my brookie love, baby.
Well, the fact that it took you so long to come over here is diabolical.
Diabolical? Were you a scientist? Anyway, my name is JB Brown. What's your name?
Nice to meet you. Lights, water, gas, and rent. You want to pay one?
Light, water, gas. Okay. Wow. I tell you what I can do, right? How about I pay your tab? Can I get her tab? I'll take her tab tonight.
It's right here.
Oh, it's right here? Oh, you had it ready, didn't you? Okay. All right. So what I'll do for the inconvenience, Miss Light, water, how about I take care of your tab tonight? How's that?
Well, thank you. It was just the procrastination for me.
That's it. I mean, all right. Well, listen, I'll bid you a good night. It was nice to meet you.
Oh, wow. That's it? A real man would have tried to get to know me.
A real man just tried. All right. Have a good night. Look at God.
Wow. Okay.
And you know, modern women, this is how they flirt, by creating unnecessary drama. And once again, men have decided that it's not worth it. I think I can't remember her name. I can see her face. Redheaded, she's got a channel, and she broke down why men don't date anymore. In a part 1, it was really, really good. I reviewed one of her clips. This is it right here. This is it right here. A man is sitting there. He says, okay, for the inconvenience, I will pay your tab. For the inconvenience of coming to talk to you, I'm doing you a favor. With the way that he looks, he's not coming up looking broke. He's not coming up not groomed, looking like he ain't kept. And it's not an inconvenience to you. It's an advantage to you. But this is how modern women flirt. They do it by causing unnecessary problems. They think it's funny. And they go back and forth with a man. And when a man says, oh, sounds like a problem. And, you don't have the rapport like that to be going crazy like that. And so most normal men, especially in today's era, are going to back up and say, hey, hope you have a good night. Just like he did. Hope you have a good night. And then even some of them will say, you know what? I'm going to go an extra step. I'm going to go the extra mile. I'm going to take the high road. And I'm going to go ahead and pay for your tab, for the inconvenience. I'm going to bid you a good night. Walk off. Oh, wait a minute. And then when you figure out that you actually ruined your chance at getting a good man, you're not going to try harder? You're not going to chase me? You're not going to... No, you already rejected me. You already put me in the quote-unquote friend zone. No, I'm not going to keep on humiliating myself for no reason.
I hope one day you're shopping at a grocery store and you reach for your favorite box of cereal. And when you reach for it, you put your hand on the box and then you notice another hand is overlaid your hand. And you're surprised and you look over and it's the ex that got away. Both look at each other surprised and you kind of laugh like such and such. Such and such, how you been? And you speak and you talk and you chop it up and it seems like you two haven't missed a beat. It seems like the very first day you met, the very first last and the greatest day in your relationship. Talking, you're chopping it up, and right before you say, you know what, I think we should meet up and talk some more. The toddler runs up and pulls on his jacket and says, Dad, can we get the Trick cereal? In the distance, you see a beautiful, drop-dead, gorgeous woman rolling up with her cart. And the man that got away turns around and is like, such and such, this is my wife, such and such, and this is my son, such and such. You have to sit back and realize that your one that got away has moved on and he has a wife, he has a family now. Meanwhile, you're on TikTok talking about how you're using men who don't know that they're being used. I wish that for you. I hope that for you.
But you said women deserve less, so
Yeah,
therefore, I deserve less.
Yeah, I don't think men should be simping on women. They got to earn that.
But you clearly haven't earned it yourself. I'll explain this in crayon eating terms.
Sure, yeah.
Why should not men not be simps?
I think you mean why should men not be simps?
Yeah, why shouldn't they?
When you're a simp, women don't respect you.
If it's the other way around, women should not be simps for men.
Well, no, actually, women should simp for their man because men typically know how to deal with attention and validation from women better than women do. Women don't really know how to appreciate male attention because you guys get so much of it. Because since we don't get the abundance of attention that you guys do, we're able to better appreciate that attention when we do get it.
So men should not be simp for women, not even including their wives?
Well, even with your wife, you don't want to be a simp. Obviously, you don't want to be a pushover. I'm saying treat her well, obviously, but you don't want to be a simp either. Being a simp is basically showing an unreciprocated amount of attention and validation to a female that's not doing the same. So we have a few more minutes. Let's go to the next person.
You know what? Sure. Of course. It's been a pleasure talking
Sure.
with you. Kenny.
No problem.
He, she, they, pronouns.
Sure. If she's a feminist, that inherently means that she thinks she's equal to the man, and that's problematic.
I would say that's not quite the definite. Well, honestly, feminism.
Well, let me ask you this. Would it be fair to say that women want a man that's taller than them?
Societally, like masculine
Yeah.
standards?
Like
I would
taller-
say if they're societally feminine.
Yeah, okay. Would it be fair to say that women want a guy that makes more money than they do? In
if they're
general.
societally traditional.
In general, yeah. Would it be fair to say that a woman wants a guy that's stronger than her, that could protect her?
If she's also traditional in beliefs.
Okay. So the reality is women are looking for a superior. They're not looking for an inferior. And even the women that are the staunchest of feminists still want a man that's going to make more money than them, still be more competent than them. As a matter of fact, the more of a feminist she is and the more money she makes and the more status she has, the higher her demands actually go. Women will sit there and say, oh, I want an equal partner. But when you look at her partner, a lot of times he's actually superior to her.
And you see a lot of these women, young ladies, step up to the mic thinking that they're making a point. And then when they're, I don't want to say outsmarted, but when they're beat on a point, then they'll just sit up and say, well, if that's what the woman wants, we're talking in generalization. Statistically speaking, most women would want this. They want a man that's going to be able to protect them. I would like if he was a little bit taller than me. It's just, that's what I want. That's my preference. I would like to have that. Okay, so if he's taller than you, if he's stronger than you, in those ways, he is superior to you. If the man is making more money than you, if he can cook, if he can clean, if he already has a house and he has a car, well, you might have a car and a house and all those things, or an apartment or whatever it is. If he has a better situation than you do, then he is superior to you. So you're looking for a man that is at your level or superior to you. That's what most women look for. And sometimes, and it honestly, truly, it's really not that much of a problem. It only becomes an issue in a lot of spaces when you think that the man is not superior enough. Oh, I'm 5'1", but I want a man that's 5'10". Do you really need a man that's 5'10"? No, you don't. But I would settle for a man that's 5'10". You would settle for a man that's above average height? You would settle? You're 5'1". We just talked about a couple where they were older. They had been married for like 40 years, essentially was what happened. 40 years. And the daughter was interviewing them. It's kind of funny. I think I did on my other channel. It was funny. And they made a joke about it. But she was like, oh, initially he wasn't tall enough for me. How tall are you, mama? I'm 4'11 3/4. What? And then for months and months, he kept on pestering me and saying that, you know, he wanted to marry me. So what was the issue? There wasn't no issue. There wasn't no issue at all. That's why, and that's essentially what he ended up saying. There wasn't no issue. None. That's why she's still here 40 years later, because there ain't no issue. And no disrespect to your mom, but I'm just going to use this example to say modern women, they hang around and they hang around and they hang around. Anybody else, you know that meme, anybody else, so don't nobody want me, don't nobody want me, don't nobody like me. And then there's a man in the background that says, I do, I don't want you. That's how modern women are acting nowadays. They're looking for anybody that wants them. And when they can't find the person that wants them, you know what? I'm 35. I think I'll go ahead and settle for the good guy now.
So why do you guys continue on hunting if it took so much work to get one loyal girl?
He just explained it.
You know, let's do the candy store analogy.
Okay.
We'll go back in time here because if you guys don't get this, then I don't know what to tell you. Just like
I get it.
No. We're gonna do an analogy so you guys understand this.
Yeah.
So, ladies, let's go into a dream world real fast, right? I want you guys to imagine. There's a candy store, all right, and it's a lit ass candy store. Everyone wants to go there. It's very exclusive, etc. The women are allowed to go to the candy store 18 years old. They can go in, don't got to pay, get as much candy as they want, live life, right? So you're in that candy store, you spend a good amount of time in there, right? 10, 15 years in there, you start to figure out what kind of candy you like. You figure out that you like Starburst instead of Tootsie Rolls. You figure out that gummy bears are good. You figure out that, Laffy Taffy is gross. You start to figure out what kind of candy you like, right? And you sit in the aisles where you like to be. The men, however, can't get into the candy store until they're 35 years old. And they have $100,000 saved and they make $100,000 a year. So it takes them a while. It takes them 17 years to get in there. You've been in there since you're 18. They don't get in until they're 35 and they have this money saved. So a line obviously starts to accrue in front of the candy store, right? And every 17 years, a group of guys are let in. They get into the candy store, what do? They go wild. They're jumping around, hanging on the rafters, going wild, eating all the candy that you threw on the ground 10 years prior. Like, ew, I don't want that Tootsie Roll. He's taking it off the ground, eating it like, oh my God, they're going crazy. And you're like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all, man? You never see candy before? What the fuck is wrong with you? Meanwhile, there's guys in the background, right, cheering for them. Yeah, woo, eat that candy, yeah.
Tootsie Roll.
Let's go. Eat a Tootsie Roll for me, bro, yes.
Oh, man.
Right? But of course, you guys have been in there for 10, 15 years. They're like, this nigga's weird. Why are you guys going so wild?
Yeah.
And then they look at you and they say, well, you don't have to work to get in the candy store. I have to bust my ass to get into this position to even get a piece of candy. So, how are you going to tell me how much candy I can eat? And that's exactly how men look at the world. We have to bust our asses to get into this candy store that you guys got into when you're 18 years old.
Yep.
You don't value it because you never worked to get into the candy store. We have to work and bust our ass to get into this candy store. So Tootsie Rolls that you guys threw away because you don't give about it 10 years prior, we love that because we can finally have a Tootsie Roll. We have to pay to get that Tootsie Roll. So you can't tell a man how much candy he can eat when you have to pay for the candy.
In a room of 300 men, how many of them would you think find you attractive? Any number y'all want to give?
Out of 100?
300.
300?
Yeah, okay. I agree.
I don't know, unless they got money.
Girl, shut up. Just shut up.
Every man that I've gone on dates with that has been a masculine energy man, he's secure, he's confident, he's financially successful, they never ask me about my work, my job, my career. They don't ask me at all. They don't care. They don't care if I'm CEO or if I'm working minimum wage. They do not care. They maybe around date 3 will maybe be like, what do you do? And it's more like just kind of curious as far as like getting to know me. And it's usually like, do you like what you do? Do you like your job? Do you like what you do every day? But they're not asking very specific questions. It's more like, what time are you done with work so I can take you out? Those are the kinds of questions those men ask me. But then the insecure men who are not in their masculine energy, they bombard me with questions about my job. They want to ask me so many questions. At one point, I was like, should I just tell you what my salary is? Jeez.
Sister told me this story about how she broke up with this guy that gave her the ick. What happened was she dated this guy who on paper was amazing. He was a handsome man, he had a good job, good finances, owned several properties. And one day she was at his house and she asked him, like, what do you do for fun? You know, like what's fun for you? And he looked a little confused. And then he said, well, sometimes I play guitar. And he goes into his room, goes into his closet, and behind a bunch of luggage and boxes, he pulls out this dusty old guitar. And he plays a song, and it's really good, and he sings really well. My sister was like, that's amazing. And he goes, yeah, when I was younger, I wanted to be a musician. And then he puts the guitar back behind the boxes and the clothing and closes the door. She said that gave her the ick. It gave her the ick because here's a man that walks around the world projecting success through finances and achievements at work. But deep down, he always wanted to be something different. and he buried the last relic of that dream deep in his closet. And that's gay.
It really is amazing to me how these modern women, even after a man has got done bearing his soul, how women will look at that and be like, yeah, I just got the ick. Instead of actually being an emotional support and asking, so what happened? Tell me more. I want to understand more about you. Maybe I can say something that sparks some sort of fire back in you, that gives you that pep that you used to have in your step. Maybe I can say something that makes you reconsider and go back after your dream. Yeah, maybe you stay on finance and you keep on working and do your thing. But pick up that guitar again. Maybe for an hour. Maybe find a local band to join and you start playing back up. But then, if you can sing, maybe you have your own show after 2 or 3 years. It's not something that has to happen all at once today. But just start today. Just tinker around with it. And then maybe in a month or two, see how you feel. Oh man, I feel pretty good. All right, well, play a little bit more for a couple more months. By month 5 or 6, he might be saying, I think I want to go find some places to, have some sort of jam session. And pretty soon, instead of playing the game, he's finding different bars and different venues to go to have a jam session. And at first, he wasn't able to work himself in, but now, hey man, our guitarist, he's not coming tonight. You mind you play? A little bit. Well, let me see what you got. 30 seconds right there. Well, come on and play with us. Hey man, our guitarist, he's sick again, and it's the second time in a row in 4 weeks or a month. You mind filling in? And then he becomes hey man, you're a little bit more dependable. How about you fill in for him and just be full time with us? Man, hey, babe, I got an opportunity with this. It's a local band, but they play every Thursday night, and and then all of a sudden, hey, I've been playing with my band for a year. I think I want to go on America's Got Talent. I think I want to go on The Voice. I think you can do it. So you go out there, you audition. Hey man, I made it to another round. So I'm going to go out there and I'm going to give it a shot. Man, the judges really didn't like me, but I picked up about 3,000, 4,000 followers. And if you're on major shows like that, maybe you don't win the whole thing, the $1 million or however much it is, but I picked up 100,000 followers. I think that's pretty good. And now my views on my videos have gone from, 5,000 each to 20, 30,000. And now I make a little bit of money. And I keep on singing, and maybe I'm still doing these local spots, or maybe I don't even have to do these local spots because I make a little money off of me posting my music or my covers online. And maybe I write an original and throw it in there. And now there's no copyright. That's just me earning from my own stuff. But it'll be because you allowed him to talk to you about his feelings and emotions, and he was transparent, and you encouraged him. And you provided light for him so that he can throw that light down and see the light at the end of the tunnel. Oh, yeah, I guess it's not as dark as I thought it was. Yeah, man, go for your dreams. But you guys are so emotionally unavailable a lot of times that y'all don't know how to handle a man's emotions. Y'all's emotional maturity has stunted in middle school. So you're not really progressing past anything but other than I like the Jonas Brothers. Your mindset can't even handle anything else besides I want to look like Hillary Duff. I want a man to look at me like, I don't know, what's his name looked at Anne Hathaway on The Princess Diaries. But y'all don't even know how they got there or why you would be worth looking at like that. But if you helped a man out like this, you would have earned that. Y'all don't understand that. Y'all don't care. Y'all don't care.
Is there somebody you're dating right now?
Yes, Paul, I am dating.
Dating? Is it more than one?
I am dating. I don't have someone I date though. Mm-hmm. So let me tell you about dating. This is why I have a dating app, and I encourage every woman to date. I think what happens is women don't know how to date. Like men really kind of have, are you cool? Can I sit with you and have a conversation, watch a game and eat some burgers? All right, let's kick it. women, their prerequisites for dating, and this is why women are having so many challenges, because they don't know how to date. Girlfriend, if a guy wants to take you out for pizza, go out for pizza. Learn them. Dating is data. You're collecting data, because you might think you want something on paper, but when you get it, because I've had a lot of things that I wanted on paper, and then I got it, and I was like, oh, I'm not about this life. Like you said, men like Paul come with a lot. I'm here to tell you, I'm not about that life. Yeah. I'm not about that life. So now I'm dating. Marriage is not important to me. But I'm dating, I think.
My thing is too, like, how do I buy a car without test driving it?
That's fair for you. So I'm not saying,
because you said you don't have all dating.
No, but I'm not having about a relationship. I'm not saying marriage.
Relationship.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if we want to have intimacy, so it's just me and you. We exclusive, right?
Me too.
How long before you know? How many dates?
How many dates?
Like how many dates can a dude get off before you like, all right, this ain't gonna happen, or it's maybe something?
I think that here's the deal, and I'm gonna get so technical, and y'all gonna get mad. Listen, we can't forget, like, STDs exist, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you should be, it's very fine to be like, yo, I need to really get to know you more.
Yes.
And yes, like, I should have a physical attraction to you, but again, I shouldn't want to just jump in the bed with you, because I want to make sure I'm safe too. Yeah. Like,
a lot of these younger men in that 35-ish range, even a little younger than 30, they are a lot more mature than a lot of these men who are 45 and up. Yeah. They're not stuck in their ways. Yeah, they are very flexible. They open doors. They know how to date. They are actually hunters like men used to be. Yeah. They're calling, they're texting, they're love bugs. They want to get married. They're all
they ain't like the old school. We the old guard. We the hunters.
Yeah. And let me say this, not only women, but men in their 30s are the new generation that don't have baby mamas. You'll be surprised at how not thirsty for women these younger men are. Meaning, like, they are literally saying, if we can't date, or if we can't have some type of out of the bed romance, I'm turned off. Right. There's so many young men who are like, women are just throwing the pussy at me. Versus back in the day, it was men were chasing the cat. Yes. And that's a turn on for me. And you have the older men who are just kind of like, look, it's kind of like you're saying, I'm working, I'm doing me, what you see is what you get. Yeah. And I definitely want the intimacy as far as with you, but I'm not sure if I can commit. I'm not sure if my old ways will allow me to maneuver or to transform into what's needed for a relationship. And you're finding, studies have shown, the older woman and younger guy is having the higher success rate when it comes to a healthy marriage and happiness.
I beg your pardon?
The older woman and younger man. They're finding that success rate has actually outdid the older man and younger woman.
Oh, really?
And think about it, Shannon, though, us older women, we actually keep ourselves up a lot better than the generation of older women did.
Yeah, for sure.
Prior to us, right? Yeah, and so we are working out. I mean, of course, there's other augmentations that can be done. I'm not knocking nobody that women are willing to do. The self-care is there. Yeah. Women are taking care of their skin. I mean, it's a whole nother world for women right now in the sense of how they keep themselves up. And so there is no competition for us when it comes to young women, because we really are those women, like that 35 to 45, and I've even seen women at 55 where I'm like, sis,
I've seen them.
What are you doing? And Tracy Ellis is one of them.
Oh, man.
Most of the women who are gorgeous and still doing their thing and have that glow, they ain't been married and they don't have no kids. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. We out here glowing.
It's a lot of y'all out there.
Not stressed out.
Yeah.
Very, very happy, very loving, very rich, very well taken care of. Having our way. Very happy. Yeah. And I'm not saying that there's not happy marriages, because there are.
For sure.
But when you choose from that place, you calibrate like-minded, vibrational energy. You're less likely to get somebody who is not happy, who's not healthy. You repel a man who's out there womanizing and doing certain things, because that man also knows he can't sustain that quality of woman.
Okay, so let's see if we can run this. It's probably going to be a little bit lengthy, all right? But let's do it. So claim one, younger men under 35 are more mature. more masculine, more chivalrous, and more committed than older men. The reality of it is there's no scientific evidence showing that younger men in their 20s and 30s are more masculine, more committed, more mature, more likely to pursue marriage, more chivalrous, or hunter-like, okay? Every major long-term data set shows the actual opposite, right? And so men in their 30s and 40s are far more likely to pursue serious relationships and marriage. Men under 30 have the lowest marriage interest of any group. Younger men might report higher avoidance of commitment, not lower. I would think that would make sense because they're learning from the mistakes of older men. Spaces like this where men talk about what they've gone through, and younger men watching it might say, think I might want to avoid that. Okay, so what she's describing here is probably going to be anecdotal, not necessarily scientific, and not necessarily representative or backed by any articles or anything that she might have referenced. When we talk about younger men turning down intimacy because they want romance, again, contradicting national data. When we look at the studies, it consistently shows younger men between 18 and 29 are having less, but not because they're romantic hunters. They're struggling with social anxiety. They're struggling with adult film addictions, lack of dating skills, economic instability, less interest in casual dating. So when we put that in other words, younger men, it's not that younger men are more romantic. It's that a lot of times, or sometimes, they're less successful or less motivated in modern dating. This isn't necessarily the same as being more mature, right? And it really, honestly and truly, when you look at it that way, it goes in line with a lot of men checking out of the dating scene. Okay, so let's look at older men committing, not committing. Older men are not committing, but younger men are. Okay, so you've got older men that don't want to commit, but the younger men do, right? So large scale marriage statistics show, and this is actually something that I had a question about, men 35 to 45 are the most likely to marry. Men under 30 are the least likely to want marriage. Divorce risk is higher when the man is younger than the woman. So her claim actually reverses the actual trend. I don't know what she's up to. I don't know what she's trying to do, but honestly, it doesn't seem like it's the right thing. I think maybe she's trying to put something out there in order to make people believe the opposite. But let's go on to the next thing that she said. Studies show older women and younger men have higher marriage success rates. Once again, objectively false. The studies that she's referencing don't claim this. They don't support this. They actually show higher instability in marriages where the woman is older. When we look at the research, overwhelmingly, it's showing us age gap relationships with a younger man are rare. Even when you're talking about yourself or Tracy Ellis Ross, neither one of you are married. I don't understand that. They have higher divorce rates than traditional pairings. They face more social, emotional, and biological pressure long term. The most stable marriages are where the man is 2 to 10 years older. So I don't know what her statement is coming from or where it's coming from, but it's just not supported by any actual data from that we can see. Okay, so the next one, older women keep themselves up better than young women and have no competition. An opinion, and ignores the strongest evolutionary and sociological finding in mating psychology. Men across all ages overwhelmingly prefer younger women. This preference has been documented in evolutionary psychology, cross-cultural studies across 190, actually over 190 countries, marriage records, dating app statistics, the largest real-world dating database that was ever collected. No amount of self-care reverses the biological preference of a man. And sitting up here using Tracy Ellis Ross as proof is self-defeating. She's not married. She's not in a well-known long-term relationship. She's openly choosing non-commitment. She doesn't have any children. So using her to try to prove your point that older women are winning in marriage is logically inconsistent. Again, let's go on to the next point. We older women are very, very loving, very rich, very happy, glowing, carefree, dating freely. This is what she said. Once again, not data. Self-projection. What she's describing is unmarried, childless, affluent, coastal women, not the average 35 to 55-year-old woman. Their lifestyles don't represent what the broader population of women are going through. And none of this, by the way, correlates with marital success. Marital success, which is the original claim. None of this correlates to that, right? So you have somebody talking about being glowing, happy, rich. It's not the same thing as having a long-term commitment or attracting a long-term commitment. Not the same thing as forming stable marriages. Not the same thing as representing a trend of being successful in marriage or even a long-term relationship. It's not the same thing as changing relationship success statistics. This is the language that you're using is purely for aesthetics. It's just because it sounds good. It's just because it tickles the ear, and women in the comments are going to eat it up. It's not scientific. That is none of it at all. So when we look at what you're talking about, you're claiming older women and younger men, those types of relationships are more examples or more successful. But even in your examples, your own examples, you yourself are not married. Tracy Ellis Ross is not married. No celebrities you name are actually in successful relationships or relationships with younger men. You don't have really any statistics that or any credible sources that back up your claim. And the studies that you're citing, or people in the comments, I saw some women in the comments citing some studies, circular. What you're using is unmarried older women to prove that older women are getting married more successfully. You're not married. This is not going to fly at all. Stop this.